After 7 or 8 whole years, I finally reached dimensional accuracy through the measurement of the Y, X, Z, and extruder filament runs. So I was printing this switch thinking that my printer was accurate, and unfortunately I had a wall, and I had to, prior to these, I had printed this switch twice and failed. And I also printed the little robot, and a lot of the parts broke. Had a lot of problems with multi-part printing in one build, and I had to go down the rabbit's hole. But I had success, so that's what the videos are about, is the success rate, not giving up, being determined no matter what system you have. And if you have natural money growing out of your tree in your backyard, then you would obviously have something better than this Frankenstein of a building that I have here, which I designed myself. And I printed these with the old board, I believe, or the new board, I'm not sure. But when the old board that came with this burnt up, when the power supply gave out, and then the board burnt out after the new power supply, I had to get a new board, do the Marlin software, and install it. And being able to build something like this is a blessing, because I can't afford them expensive systems, and getting another one for a better frame would be nice, but it's not in the budget. No matter if it's 200 or 300, I know that they're gonna have bad beds, bad piece of glass domed in the middle, something bad, just a bad board, bad power management setup. Just getting something so cheap and affordable, bare bones, gave me the drive, just wetting my feet in 3D printing really drove me to want to be able to understand the hardware, the software, the firmware, the process, and to watch the print and diagnose the issues as it was layering those layers. And I will tell you that I used my camera and I would zoom in on the hot end to see what was happening while it was happening, because I'll tell you, you can sit in front of a teacher in college, listen to this stuff. You can be in textbooks all day, YouTube all day, and if you don't put your hands on these machines, you're never going to grow. Your knowledge is not going to grow. And your understanding of 3D printing and adaptive manufacturing and everything that comes with it, the programming, the software, the artist part of it, where you have to edit and design in CAD, those programs, all that. I had to print all these parts, okay? All these parts I printed. New hot end, fan system. I did a thermal on the hot end, so the block is protected by these, sorry about the little mess, they're protected by these Kento cotton pads that I wrapped around the hot end I cut spaces in for the hot end. I layer this all over the hot end to thermally insulate the hot end so I could get stable temperatures to the degree. I went to Home Depot and I bought this hot pipe insulator. It has like a foil on one side and a sticky foam on the other. I layered it to the top and to the bottom so the sandwich in between and the bed consistent. I cut my own glass, nice and flat and even. Cut that glass, and then I bought this from Amazon for a couple $12-13, and now I have much flatter surface. That glass is not completely flat, but it's way better. It's not domed like the other one that came with this. I have a power supply down here. That's a computer power supply that I repurposed. It's a bigger one and more powerful than what came with the 3D printer that burnt out and gave out on me. When that power supply was given out, the bed would not get hot with the hot end at the same time at all. The best thing is to allow the bed to get hot before the hot end, but your power supply should be able to provide the power the system needs and more in case. And in my case, I put that power supply on there. And if you look over here, see those tiny heat sinks there? There's one under here. You can't see it, but it's somewhere there. It's somewhere. Yeah. No, only have two transistors. Logic gates. I'll tell you what. Those logic gates, they allow me to connect my bed directly from the power supply to the positive bed. The power supply to the bed, and then the negative, I believe, is the one connected to the logic gate. And the signal, the positive signal, is connected to the middle of the gate, which is the gate opener. Allows the negative signal from the board to speak to the bed. That is also connected. The bed, the positive, is connected to the main power supply. All right, the main power supply negative is connected to that too. So that's how I power my bed and my hot end. I don't rely on the board's signal to power my system, because that's how my other board died, my first board. So I wisened up and I did a logic gate transistors on the bed and the hot end, so the power supply directly provides the power to this, and the logic gates are controlled by the board, and that saves me my board from dying. Now those are minor upgrades that you would want to do to your printer in order to successfully get some good prints, and also doing the axes when you tweak the axes for dimensional accuracy, or else your lines could be fatter than you think. Your extruder might be extruding too much material and you don't know it, and you're messing around with Cura thinking that you're going to fix an issue that you should be addressing mechanically with your system through dimensional accuracy. You tell the bed, run that way 20 millimeters, you go ahead and mark under the bearing with a piece of tape right here, and then you tell it move 20 millimeters, and then you mark it with a bearing or just check it with the caliper up to the bearing and see if it moved the true 20 millimeters, and then you do the math. If it's not exactly, you do the math formula for dimensional accuracy, and you're going to get some amazing prints once you get the hot end extruder accurate to the to the tenth of a millimeter, to the 100th of a millimeter. Once you get the accuracy length right, and you get Cura settings right, you're going to be printing some pretty amazing stuff with no layer banding or any of that. And I still do get some, because I do have bad, bent rods. This is BAREBONES entry level cheap. But at one point I had upgraded these, gotten these bearings. I thought it was a good idea to just put them up here, since I was seeing that rod wobble back and forth. And to my surprise, my prints started getting Z-banding a lot. And for the type of prints that I was printing, I didn't care. So I just winged it and literally put the whole understanding printing and print quality to the back of my head. Never thought about it. But recently, I just wanted to really run some good prints, high quality stuff. And this right here proves that you can print really tight tolerance prints and make them work. This fluid with 3 fingers, no stress, with barebone Frankenstein print builds like this, okay? PRUSA Frankenstein builds like this. Boards blowing up, power supplies giving out, tolerances, heat fluctuations. You have to do upgrades on BAREBONES. But apart from that, you can achieve great success as long as you are determined to continue to work hard and keep learning. Never give up. And this is literally the proof, okay, that even with a cheap under $200, you could probably get this for $100. BAREBONES will do it. Just make sure that you get your thermal insulators, okay, and make sure you print out some extra parts, because they will give out, okay? Especially this one. The first one was the first part given out. I decided to just start printing a bunch of them with the part literally hanging halfway off, and I was lucky enough that I was able to print this before the old board gave out, because if that would have happened, I would have been completely out of the water trying to rebuild something without parts, without anything. So just make sure that you prepare yourself for catastrophe, because it's bound to happen. And getting one of these first before getting a $1,000 machine, where you're more than likely going to give up if it doesn't work the way it's supposed to out of the box. It's better to just hit your head over against the wall 1,000 times and learn how to do it, because if you don't, you're going to be out of the water. And this is the future, okay? You got to grab it by the horns and ride it, okay? Or else you're never going to get anywhere in life. And this is just me showing off my Frankenstein build, my success rate. After 8 years, I put it behind me, I put it in front of me, and I conquered it. Yes.